Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Medal video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the brand new Super Strike event, which is Mercenary Tao Strikes Back, kind of like a certain movie called Star Wars. But yeah, basically this is the new Super Strike. It only features one character this time instead of two. And as per usual, I'll be running you through all the stages. So stage 1 will drop the copies of General Tao, stage 2 will drop the medals to awaken him to a UR state, stage 3 to his TUR state, and stage 4 his EZA medals. As always, there's a sizable amount of stones that you can earn for playing this event. Things such as, obviously, Dragon Stones are obviously always great for players to earn, but alongside that, there are also some additional rewards such as some Dos and Kais, so always pretty much worth it. As always, we'll start with stage 1 and farming the copies of General Tao. The team you're going to want to use here is a Worthy Rivals team. That is your bonus team. Please remember that the rarity of your team will affect the drop rate of the General Tao units. So the higher the rarity of the units you bring, the higher the drop rate. I'm going to be making a free-to-play team, one that you can use in a variety of situations, but that will be able to take on the event and complete it so that we can obviously get our hands on, well, pretty much everything we need from this event. So you can copy this build if you don't have any other characters, or if you're looking for optional builds. I wouldn't suggest doing this. Obviously I would use the strongest team I can with the highest boost rate possible. Because yeah, you don't really want to waste your time, and the higher the boost, the less time you spend doing this, and the easier the event is. You don't, especially for Super Strike free-to-play units, you don't want to make things as difficult as possible, but it's always nice to show that you can complete these events free-to-play, because it does tend to help out quite a bit. So yeah, obviously that kind of covers everything you need to know about the team building. We'll be using obviously a Worthy Rivals team. One thing I will state about the team, at least from my perspective, is that we lack a sufficient lead. So we don't have like a very good free-to-play Worthy Rivals lead, which makes things a little bit more difficult. So we're going for more a strength AGL based team. Now this is fine for the most part, at least for me, but obviously, full disclaimer, you can obviously struggle a little bit. So this first stage, there's quite a lot of stop fights against like Red Ribbon army members, so you're going to want to try and avoid those as best you can. If you're auto battling, you will just automatically take on the stage, so you can't really do too much about that. But yeah, so obviously the first fight you take on General Tao. To be honest with you, nothing too crazy here, super easy fight. What you do want to do though is you want to farm 15 copies of the SR. And you're going to say, why do you want 15 copies? Well, you want 15 copies because you want to make 2 different copies of General Tao. You want one copy that is at SA5, which obviously makes sense, and you want one copy that is at SA10. And the reason you want one copy that's at SA10 and SA5 is when Super Strike units are awakened to their UR state, they gain a SA15 super attack, not an SA10 super attack. So you need to feed that copy into the other one to max out your SA. So obviously once you've completed the first stage, you want to move on to the second one. Make sure you have the 2 copies ready of General Tao. And in the second stage, we'll be farming the medals to awaken him to a UR state. What's going to be important here is that it is 7 medals, so you're going to want to make sure that you have 14 medals in total. Again, Worthy Rivals units will be the most straightforward ones, and obviously again, rarity, oolong, etc., all the things you would use to boost your drop rates here obviously matter again. Remember, we are farming 14 medals because we need to awaken both copies of General Tao. We need to have the second copy awakened so that it can feed all 5 levels into our first copy. You don't need to worry about farming any more General Taos, so just make sure you farm the 14 medals here. Fortunately, the stage itself is fairly simple, to be honest with you. It's really honestly not that bad. I think it's, you know, basically super duper simple, and you can avoid a lot of the fights as well. So you don't have to fight a lot of units or anything like the last one. Even though it's the same map, they clear out the pathway, so you can just avoid fighting as many units as you did previously, which, you know, obviously makes it a little bit faster and a little bit easier. So General Tao, you'll fight him in 2 phases, but it's honestly not that difficult. So again, no real major issues here, all a fairly straightforward kind of event so far. Realistically, not a bad time in any way, shape or form. Other than that, obviously just a reminder, the 14 medals, and then you kind of move on to the next phase where you awaken him to a TUR. But yeah, it'll be a little bit more stamina this time, but you can use Oolong and Bulla and Vegeta to shorten the timer. That will at least help you out. The next step will be a little bit more complicated, so you need to farm your 14 medals, and then you're going to come back and you need to obviously open up the hidden potential system and do a lot of things like that, and that's where things get a little bit more difficult. So once you have the prerequisite medals, you are then going to embark on the process of essentially awakening General Tao to his UR state. So you can pick up your rewards from the mission screen, which is great, and then you're going to go about the process of awakening both copies of General Tao. At this point, you are also going to feed the second copy into the first copy. So awaken them both and then feed your SA5 unit into your SA10. I highly suggest that you make sure that you don't feed your SA10 copy into your SA5 copy. Although it doesn't really make a big difference because it'll still work out to being 15 either way, so you're kind of safe. But just to placate my OCD, please don't do it. But yeah, once you've done that, you can go back to the missions and you should be able to pick up enough copies from maxing out the SA to SA15 to now go about the process of awakening the hidden potential system. So from the missions, you'll pick up copies of the SSR of General Tao, and you can use these copies to max out his hidden potential paths. So go back to the copy you have, max out the hidden potential paths, and once you've done this, you'll be able to go back and accept the final set of missions, and by accepting these, you will actually have 5 General Taos left over. These General Taos you're going to feed into each other with training, and this is going to give you another SSR General Tao at SA5. So you started this with a level 10 General Tao and a level 5 General Tao. Now you're going to finish it with a level 15 General Tao that has a maxed hidden potential paths and a level 5 General Tao that doesn't have any hidden potential paths. So don't do that. Make sure you don't, you know, accidentally feed the wrong one the hidden potential paths and things like that. So once you've done all of that, you can then head back to the mission and you can take on the third stage, which will be the medals that you need to go about awakening him to a TUR stage. Now these medals are a little bit different. These medals you are going to need to farm 10 of, and you're going to need to farm 10 for each copy. So that means you're going to need to farm 20 in total. It's not a huge train smash, but it is obviously noticeable that you need to farm a little bit more. So yeah, that should kind of, you know, give you a rough idea. The fight against General Tao for this third stage is, again, also not anything too crazy. So I can't see it being, you know, anything too wild. I can't see you openly struggling with this. Of course, you never know, you still could, but yeah, if you use the same team you've been using the whole way through, you're really not going to struggle. Let's put it that way. But yeah, in general, I would say it's a fairly straightforward process. Once again, honestly, not that difficult, and farming 20 medals shouldn't take you too long. You can, again, use the boost methods you have, and you should be fine, but, you know, to each their own. You never know, so I don't really want to kind of step on anyone's toes. But yeah, once you've done stage 3 and you have managed to finish it, you should go back and Dokkan Awaken your General Tao. This will raise him to his final stage, his TUR stage, and should enable you to level him up. So should enable you to, basically push him to the next level. The big thing with General Tao is obviously, well, to put a full disclaimer, the fact that you are going to not be able to use him in your final run, which is a little bit of a shame when you think about it, because it is, doesn't really help this team get any better, which kind of limits our options for actually clearing the 4th stage. Now the 4th stage has a couple of challenges, and these challenges will reduce the amount that you have to play the 4th stage. So if you don't want to do any of the challenges, then you just simply have to beat the 4th stage 6 times and you'll have enough medals to awaken General Tao. If you complete all of the challenges, you will simply have to play the stage 3 times. So it is a massive reduction in the amount of attempts, but I just like to put that disclaimer out there because you don't have to do the challenges. You can just beat the stage 6 times. It will just take you a bit longer. Now, one thing I will admit here, at least when it comes to the challenges, is these ones weren't so bad. 6 Worthy Rivals characters, not too much of an issue. You can bring items, you can see the ones I'm using down below. And of course, you have to use TN. Now, fortunately, we have a pretty good TN in the form of the Super Strike TN, who's pretty useful, and a unit that we can use to obviously take on this event quite easily. So, pretty much a relatively strong situation, for us when it comes to team building for this event. Now, of course, something to obviously also kind of admit, we do want to obviously make sure that we don't fail these runs, so please don't be scared to use items. It really does help you out quite a lot. But yeah, generally speaking, I didn't have that hard a time here. The team did alright. You can get hit pretty hard, but with attack lowering it does make life a lot easier against General Tao, and so things really weren't that bad. So then, if you do complete all the missions, please make sure that you Easy A General Tao, and make sure you Easy A the correct General Tao. That's kind of the big thing here. You can accidentally Easy A the SA5 one, and then things aren't looking so great for you. So could be challenging, could not be challenging, but yeah, pretty much, kind of a hindrance. But once you've done that, once you've beaten General Tao, you should have everything, and once you've done it 3 times, I should say, you should have everything you need to Easy AM and make your life way easier. Again, honestly speaking, it's not that bad an event, and the amount of stones you get is honestly really quite worth it. So for me, it's definitely something that I would say is, super duper value, like super good. But yeah, again, guys, if you need any help, you can always give me a shout. Obviously, once you've got those medals, you can go back and Easy A your General Tao and feed your General Tao into your main one, so you shouldn't really have any major issues there. But yeah, honestly speaking, I would just say give it your best shot, and yeah, should be fairly straightforward. Now, whether General Tao is any good or not, we'll have to see. He doesn't look that great, if I'm being honest with you. He looks a bit dodgy, so yeah, we'll just have to see. But let me know how it goes, and give me a shout if you need help. See you guys next time. Bye.